Yes, it is nice to see you. We are waiting for you because we are interested in COVID-19 information very much. And you know everything about COVID-19. Am I right?
I'll try my best to explain everything as much as possible.
Okay, thank you. May you tell us a little bit about yourself, just in a few words?
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Olajumoke. I am from England, and so in England. So yeah. I hope everybody here is excited and eager to hear about some of the information that I'm about to share, and hopefully it can give you a new perspective on the current pandemic and how better to take care of yourself and make sure that you're staying safe.
Yes, Dr. Dapo looks very, very serious. So I think that our topic will be very serious. Am I right? Yeah.
I hope it'll be informative.
Informative.
It might be the weather. That's why I look so serious.
But you are a doctor, you must be. Okay. So, actions or the other way around. Dr. Dapo, what do you suggest?
I mean, I don't mind taking questions now, but I think maybe after the presentation would be better. If anybody has any questions about the presentation or about what is being presented, or any questions to me personally, then I can answer as best as possible.
Okay, no worries. Then you will be a host now, okay? You will make your presentation, and then we will ask something.
That you can find the virus within. So on reservoirs are bats. It's believed that the virus spread from bat with spikes sticking out from the top.
Yes.
So this is just a 2D image where you can see the cell structure of the virus. I'm pulling it out. A little bit, and then you can also take it over.
Yes.
So you make sure that you pull the top by pressing it here and cuffing to make sure that the top and the bottom is sealed. And when you breathe, you don't feel any air coming up through to your eyes or any air coming down to your chin. If you're wearing a apron or a gown, disposable one is how you can wear it. Wear your face mask, use proper hand hygiene, some gloves, especially if you're looking after somebody who has a confirmed case.
All right. Thank you. And I think you have some questions to ask. If you have, of course. Maybe, Doctor?
I have one question.
Okay.
So we have a new flu vaccine every year. So why it is so hard to get a coronavirus vaccine?
So the coronavirus is new. The flu vaccine, the reason why it's given every year is because it changes. I know that they don't explain it to you as much as they do with coronavirus, but the flu virus changes. So you have to keep people vaccinated. And the reason why it's difficult for them to, I mean, they have the vaccine now. Generally, a vaccine, to produce a new vaccine, it takes a couple of years, but they've managed to do it in about 6 to 8 months. So it has to be distributed to different people globally. It's like a rapid vaccination program. Okay, maybe Alina first, and then...
If two people are positive, can they quarantine together, or do they have to be separated?
If they're in the same household, they can quarantine together. But if they're not in the same household, they should definitely quarantine separately. So if they're at home together and they both test positive, but the thing is, if you're in a house where somebody has tested positive, then you and your household will most likely have to self-isolate. Maybe not quarantine, but self-isolate and social distance from other people. But this also depends on your government's recommendations. In England, the whole household has to quarantine.
The whole, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
What should I do if someone in my household is sick?
So ask them about the symptoms. Do they have a fever? Do they have a cough? Do they have a sore throat? Because it's flu season now, because of the temperature, it might be difficult to differentiate between the flu and the corona. This is why I said that if you're going to ventilate the house, just make sure you don't leave the windows open for too long so you don't catch the cold. But if somebody is sick, make sure that you follow the precautions. You're washing your hands constantly. You're keeping surfaces clean. You're sanitizing your hands. If you have hand sanitizer, use it. Ask them to wear a mask when they go out. They probably shouldn't go out for maybe
They
the next
shouldn't, I think.
10 days. Yeah, they shouldn't go out. But just you wear a face mask when you go out. They should wear a face mask. When you're interacting with each other, try and keep a distance as best as possible. I know it might be difficult when you're at home with somebody, but just try and be safe, try and be proportionate. Yes.
Your presentation is wonderful, actually. But
thank you.
I would like to know, is it true that COVID is less ready for use in Europe?
Actually, it depends on the strain. Now, in certain, I think the novel, the first one that we know of, was less risky. In England, we saw children get severe symptoms in a few cases. The majority of the time, they didn't have severe symptoms. But now, the new strain is more frequent in the younger population and the youth population. But the new strain isn't everywhere.
I have a question. How long do you remain infectious for with COVID?
That's a good question. Some cases, so the incubation period for the virus is 7 to 10 days. You can have symptoms for maybe 2 weeks, a week and a half, a month. It depends on your body. It depends on the treatment options that are available to you. During that time of treatment, you're still infectious. Even after treatment, you might still be infectious for like a week or two. So it varies a lot.
It's the worst thing.
Yes, it varies from person to person. There might be some data that says 2 to 3 weeks, but I think it's better to be safe that if somebody does have symptoms, there is a possibility that they're still infectious because the viral load in their body is still to an extent where they still have symptoms, and it's possible to pass on the virus if they're still producing symptoms. If they're not producing symptoms, I say maybe 7 to 10, 14 days at most. They shouldn't have the ability to pass on the virus
Symptoms anymore, you can't spread the COVID.
You could, but maybe not after 7 to 10 days, maybe. That's why after you have symptoms, you wait for about 7 to 10 days and then you go and do another test. If the test comes back positive, that means you still have the virus.
I have one more question. Does people's blood type affect how sick the person may become?
Blood type.
It can.
Blood type, yes.
It can. They have had some studies where they found that certain genetics of people or certain blood types of people are more susceptible to catching the virus.
Now we know more. Yes? No questions? No questions?
I have a question.
Okay.
Are my parents at risk of getting sick?
Are your parents at risk? What do they do?
No, pets.
Oh, your pets.
Domestic
Your pets.
Yeah, pets.
I think they found a few cases. Only a few cases in New York where some pets contracted the virus. I mean, it did originate from animals, so it's possible, but it's not many cases. Not many cases at all. As long as your cat isn't licking somebody on the face who has like coronavirus or like,
Actually, she has the dog.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think you should be okay. It's cold where you guys are, so your pets probably aren't going outside that much.
Please.
Is takeout food safe? What
Oh, takeout. I think takeout food. It depends on the restaurant. If a restaurant has good recommendations as being safe, of course you have to look at it. If it looks like they're cooking the food in their garage or in their shed, it's probably not. You probably don't want to eat it.
There is such a proverb: don't trouble till trouble troubles you.
Exactly.
I have a question too.
Yeah.
How long does COVID-19 stay in our clothes?
On your clothes, it can stay on your clothes for hours. So generally, if you come in contact with somebody who might have it or suspected, I mean, you can't go around suspecting everybody, but if you know that somebody has it, or if you go to a hospital, or if you go to a GP clinic, after you come home, the recommendation is to take a shower, warm shower or hot shower, wash your hair, and wash your clothes at about 40 to 50 degrees Celsius on the washing machine. So that's what I do. When I come back from work, I take off everything at the front door, put it in a bag, shower, come back with gloves, pick up those things that I've worn, and then put them in the washing machine. And then, make sure I wash them.
What about footwear?
So before I go into the hospital, I change from outside clothes to hospital clothes. Before I leave, I change from hospital clothes to my outside clothes. Then when I get home, I wash everything. So my footwear, I clean it in the hospital before I put it in my bag, and then vice versa. So.
Sure.
How long will social distancing measures need to be in place?
It depends on how many people get vaccinated. That's the clear answer. So it depends on how many people get vaccinated. That's I mean, things will have to be limited as they were before until a majority of people are vaccinated and safe against the virus. That's a difficult question. I think we just have to wait for the governments and for people to respond appropriately, be safe, and just later this year.
But we should be patient. This is the most important thing now, right?
I know it's difficult to not be able to see people, not be able to have contact with some of your friends, your family, your neighbours. But at the same time, a few months of not seeing somebody can save their lives. It's you won't be, if anything was to happen to anybody because of a lack of restraint or a lack of not being able to stay away, that person won't be able to come back ever.
Thanks.
I have a question.
Okay.
Well, it's Arthur first.
Is cleaning foodstuffs brought home from the grocery store necessary?
I'd say wash your vegetables as normal. maybe your carton, the milk and stuff like that people pick up or move. Just give it a clean. You don't have to wash it with bleach or anything, but just clean it. Wash your hands when you come back to the store, because you've touched things in the store yourself. If you're wearing gloves and you touch those gloves, when you leave the store, take the gloves off, put them in the bin. Do as much as you can just to avoid any issue. Transfer things into the container, like sugar. If you buy a bag of sugar, you can put it in the container. If you normally have a container, any spices, if you have containers for spices, you can put them in those containers, and then you can throw away those store containers.
What about bottles brought from the store?
So if it's individual bottles, like individual.
No, I just bought something in the bottle. Should I wash it?
Oh, you can just clean the outside of the bottle.
Yeah, this is what I mean.
If it's like in a big case and it's wrapped, like 6 bottles in one, then you can just take off the outer packing, and those ones inside should be fine, because somebody would have touched the outside of it, not.
Yes. Thank you, and it was extremely interesting. Thank you to be such an interesting person as you are. Thank you. Bye bye.